Business. This name of my topic is the forms of business, business and titles, and regulations. Introduction. Businessmen. They need to know the forms of business, organizations available, and strength and weakness for each business before registering. Be aware of the rules and regulations, governor business, organizations, and business support systems available. Business organization in Malaysia. It is illegal for the requirements that all ongoing business based on profits, marketing, make an objective before registering. Make sure you have complied with certain legal requirements and they are given certain legal protection under that law. The Companies Commission of Malaysia are commonly known as SSM, and they're known of the body in Malaysia that manage and governors and establish and registration of the business of Malaysia. CCM, I'm sorry, it was SSM. Business organization in Malaysia. The acts that governs business organizations in Malaysia. The Business Registration Act, it was amended in 1978, but the registration took place in 1956. The Procedures in Business Registration was in 1957. Companies Act was 1965. Now the Companies Act is 2016. The Corporative Act was in 1948, and the Parliamentary Act or State, which is the government enactment, it was still around 1956. Business Registration Act in 1956, which was the amended in 1978. There's two types of business that could be formed under this act, which is sole, and there's the partnership. I'm gonna give you the facts about the sole partner. I'm gonna say sole partnership, the sole business and the partnership of it. The Company Acts of 2016. There are three types of business that can be formed under this act, which are limited company by share, which are the private limited company, public limited company, foreign-owned companies, and limited company by guarantee. And the unlimited company. It's all unlimited for some reason, I don't know. The Sole Partnership, the Business Act of 1956, for its incorporation, business that is solely owned by one person and it has unlimited liabilities. That's the sole partnership. It's only owned by one person. And as you know, you have your advantages and your disadvantages. The advantages of the sole partnership, it's easy to dissolve. It's easy. It's an easy setup and it's a cheap setup. All profits go to the owner. There are fewer regulations by the owner. Income tax based on his or her total income. The disadvantage is a limited liability, which is involving personal assets. The lack of continually upon death of business owner, the company has to dissolve. Limited resource, which is capital um, for one person only, since it's a sole partnership, and the expansion base of the capacity of one person. So you got to make sure you always look at your advantages and your disadvantages when it comes to the partnership, the sole partnership. And then you have your partnership, which is still the Business Act of 1956, which is amended in 1978. Um, Partners carry out the business, they share the capital, they share the profits and the losses. Every partner is considered the company's representative and acts on behalf of the company. Partners are governed by the Partnership Act of 1961. A legal business entitled with two or more owners, but when you do the partnership, there cannot be more than 20 people. That's just a no-no. Formed to create a business with a view of making profits. You have your disadvantages and your advantages. The advantages of partnership is you have no tax to impose on the partnership itself, but it's based on the owners as individuals. It's easy formation and dissolution. Easier to secure finances, assistance. Your equity can be increased with additional partners. Your disadvantages is unlimited liability, the lack of continually upon the death of each other, the risk of personal clashes, always personal clashes when you work with individuals because everybody has their own personality. And without a partnership agreement, unethical or misconduct behavior can happen. Um, so you just want to make sure you have your partnership agreement. I will discuss the partnership agreement now. The partnership agreement is strongly recommended. It's a written document that covers all matters relating to the partnership. It's the name of the business, the time of the partnership, the capital, contribution of each partner, their rights and their obligations. You want to always make sure you have a partnership agreement so everyone could know, because you just don't know what could happen with your partner or with you. You just want to make sure that everything is always written in paper. Well, I'm going to say paper, always in black and white. The partnership agreement of 26 and section 26 and 27. If partners do not have their own agreement, the provision of the Partnership Act will become applicable. Some basic provisions of the partnership agreement, which profits or loss are to be shared equally. There's no interest is payable to the partner's capital. No partners entitled for a salary for participating in a partnership to business. Partners have the right to be paid on their contribution of the business. Um, you just want to make sure that the partnership agreement is always in black and white, always in black and white. Um, you want to, if you introduce a new partner, you have to bring, every partner has to know. So the introduction of a new partner must consent of all existing partners. Maybe, if it's one, two, maybe four, but if you bring someone in new, everybody has to know about this partner before you bring them in. All business account books need to be kept in the main business premises. Partners are allowed to check through the books, and they have the right to keep a copy of all books at all times. I mean, it's their money that they're putting in also, so everyone should have the right to keep the company finances in just with them at all times, just to know where to go to get the papers. And to set up the registration, a business is allowed to set up 7 days after they get the business. You want to search for a business name, what you want to propose a new business register. You got your Form A, which is a form for the partnership business, and you got a Form D, which is a certification of approval registration, which has to be issued within 3 days. The certification needs to be displayed at the business premises. Failure to do so could result in business fines. So it's always make sure that you have this certification at the business at all time in case someone comes and check and they want to see if that you have this certification. Then corporative, a business organization owned and operated by a group of individuals for their mutual benefits. A business owned and controlled equally by the person who uses it, serves it, or by the people who work there. That's your corporative. And you have your disadvantages and your advantages. Your advantages of corporative. You want to give priority to members' welfare and not profit oriented. Limited liability, lower tax rates, owned by members, not investors. Excuse me. Disadvantages are limited shares, small capital, limited distribution of surplus members, equal power to each member, although some may put more money into this business, but if I walk away, I still get whatever you put in. If you put in 2 million and the company is worth 8 million, I only put in one, I get everybody, the money has to be divided up equally. But you also have your private limited company. Um, the liabilities of a member of the company, they very limited. What happens to the company? The members could fall into the Old Company Law Act, which is in 1965. The terms and conditions. A private law company, the first enhancement acts of company was in 1965. You had your 4 years corporate law review, came up with companies bills in 2013. This was a CA was passed in Parliament on April 5th in 2016. Then you have which I said, the new CA, your major amendments or formation, management, termination. Your formation It's old CA, and then you get the new CA. Oh goodness. The OCA is a document that stipulates the power and limitations of a company, including the name, the company, the office, the power of the company, the members, the liability. You have the share capital of the company, which is authorizing the maximum limit of the capital of the company. This paid up capital that's actual share issued to the members. It is authorized coming to the members to be paid by them. It is also a major source of the company's financial statement. Um, Members of the shareholders, amendments of constitutions, addition to the capital of the company. You got the changes of the company name. These are all some that the members of the company have to know. Um, this is all when you forming a business. You have your register office, you have your company seal, you have make sure you, like I said the first, you make sure you always have a authorization letter. This is a valid sign by the company's representative, and it's good. It's always good. It's been done on other half. Um, your private limited company with your advantages and disadvantages. Private limited company. It's more of a making sure that you have the company secretary that will forward the documents to the company. Um, you have your other procedures. Make sure you just know everything about let me see, the taxation, the registrations, the business rights, which is the trademark. If you got a trade, if you're gonna have a trademark, which every company have a trademark, just make sure you have all these prepared. So when you go and sit down and try to get this business together, if you do it by yourself, just make sure you follow all the rules and regulations. Make sure you have everything that's need to be kept in the office as far as paperwork. Just make sure you do it right. But that's my presentation of businessness. If you want to basically how to get started on one. Thank you. And my name is Melva McNeil, and this is my presentation about business.